Everything's good. Everything's good.
I must say greetings, salutations.
Your volume is a bit down, Curtis. Your volume is a bit diminished. As loud as you are, I can barely hear you.
Okay.
Adjust the mic.
You look like you're asking yourself. You know when he say he speak to himself.
Can't hear you. The mic. Check the mic. Check the mic, please.
I have your volume up here.
He's asking if you're hearing him, Sam.
No, we hear it him not. That's what they would say in the Bible. We hear it you not. Did water fall into the headphones and they don't know?
Hi, Lucy.
Good night, Lucy. Lucy, are you hearing Curtis? Let's ask Lucy if she's hearing Curtis.
Testing 1, 2.
Lucy, you hearing Curtis? Well, let me mess with it and see. Lucy says no.
No, you know it's a problem if Lucy can't hear you, right? All right. Oh, problems. No.
You might have to go live and direct, brethren.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go now.
You all hearing me, but the issue is that now I'm not going to hear you all.
What?
If I don't operate with my headphones, I am not going to hear you all, but you all going to hear me.
Take one of the you have an earphone with your desktop.
Let's try it one more time. One more time. Put this in. Can you hear me now?
One more time. Repeat.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Loud and clear?
Yes.
Is that the beautiful voice that you love and you're accustomed to?
No.
No, I don't know if it's the beautiful voice that I love and I'm accustomed to, but
no way.
Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of Caribbean Feedback. I'm your moderator, Curtis B. Henry. Sitting in with us this evening is none other than our esteemed panelist, Miss Karen Forrester from BantuKreations and Mr. Samuel Archer from Muzilog. How are you folks doing this evening? 15 seconds. Talk to me, Karen. How are you doing?
I'm well.
You well. Sound like you hype. You drink coffee?
Did I catch his 15?
You drink some coffee?
I have some sorrel.
I'm drinking something here, but I think I need to drink
sorrel with ginger. So talk to me, Sam. What's in your cup?
Well, I have chamomile.
chamomile tea. Over here we have some tamarind juice
with mint.
So,
Wait, don't rush the thing now.
No,
man.
I'm watching the clock. I want to say 15 seconds. I tried to knock it off at 5 minutes.
Brethren, that was 3 seconds, brethren. 3.
You can't count.
So yeah, I just said I had chamomile tea.
You take 10 seconds to pick up the cup.
And then, well, here what's going on. It have mint in it, and it have blackstrap molasses in there. So,
all right. So, cheers, tables.
We're going to test it out. We're going to test it out and see what it's good for.
Ataman.
It's probably good for your back.
No, we ain't gonna test nothing. You test it wherever you are to test it, partner. I ain't testing nothing with you. All right. So I out of that conversation.
I didn't say test it with me.
You say we don't test it out, partner. I ain't in that. So run the thing.
Yeah, well, you can test it out on your own situation. You see, well, it started all kind of thing here. So what, we're gonna run the thing?
Run the thing and bring it back.
Run the thing and bring it back.
My name is Karen Forrester. I represent Bantu Creations. Bantu Creations offers beautifully made, African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind earrings in wonderful shapes, shades, sizes, and colors. Please don't be scared of the large sizes. They're extremely lightweight earrings. Bantu Creations can be found on IG and on Facebook as Bantu Creations. That's Bantu Creations with a K.
Come check me out, chriskeys.com. I'm worldwide.
Tony Altamirano.
Hi, I'm Gina.
What's up, everybody? I'm Win Vu, award-winning remixer.
Koya, I'm an artist.
Hi, my name's Justina Bethel.
Hi, I'm Mike Bowen from Denton, Texas.
How you doing? This is Tom Cup from Music by Tom Cups. Check out Samuel E. Archer's book, Hybrid Executive. We are in the business, and here's how you can be a better business person because you're running your business.
You can find my music at JustinaBeth_EL on Instagram or JustinaBethel.com, and I am a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive, just like you.
Follow me at Koya Music, and I'm also a hybrid executive.
I'm worldwide, baby, but just know I'm a hybrid executive. That's all you need to know, baby.
Get on upbeat.
Check out my music, MikeBowen.com. I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
Hi, we are the Henry Boys. I'm Joshua.
I'm Daniel. And I'm Simone.
We're inviting you to read a copy of our father's book, Tiny Little Spider and Nursery Rhyme.
Hey, what do you mean a father's book? This is my book. I'm on the cover. Me, Imani. But let's not forget our sister Imani started writing this book.
And our dad finished it. So get a copy.
For yourself or for your child.
Tiny Little Spider, a nursery rhyme by Curtis B. Henry and Imani Smith. Now available on Amazon.com.
With me, Imani. Spider Boy.
And we are back once again. But before we begin, I'd like to urge each and every one of you within the sound of my voice. I'm begging you. I'm urging you, please. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to that channel if you haven't done so already. Smash that subscribe button. Give us a few likes, a few thumbs up. Let us know that you're enjoying the content. And this helps a lot with the algorithms. And it gives us the impression that you like us, you know, that you want to hear more of what it is you're doing. You want to see Karen smile some more. You want to hear what I have to say. You want to indulge in some of Sam's slackness. You know
what?
Go over there. Go over to YouTube and like the channel and let us know that you're interested in what we're doing. And if you think that it has any value, we urge you to share the content with someone. Just share the link so that they too can go on and laugh a little bit at some of the stuff Sam be talking about. So
yeah, slackness.
Whatever it might be. Tonight, we're doing an extension of what we discussed last Tuesday. Last week we sat here and we discussed fight or flight. Now, when we say fight, we don't mean actually standing up and throwing blow for blow. We mean fighting to hold on to something or someone that you may deem important, or hitting the highway. Say, bye, I'm out of here, I'm fed up, I can't take this no more, I'm done. Or maybe not saying anything at all, just pack up in the middle of the night and digs out. That's how we used to say it, Sam. And just digs out. Run if you have to. But sometimes a lot of situations are simply not healthy. And we try to convince ourselves that we should remain in this particular relationship. And when I say relationship, sometimes it's not just a sexual relationship. It might be a relationship with someone you consider a friend who's just draining your energy. It might be a job where you're being looked down upon, where they don't respect you. They don't respect your opinion. They don't respect the fact that you even work there, but you tolerate it because you have bills to pay. And before you know it, we end up becoming less of ourselves, less of who we are, because we are afraid to let go. And sometimes holding on hurts even more when you hold on to a situation that you should have let go of a long time. Sometimes we hold on or chase after individuals that just not right or not meant for us. I remember there was a movie that was entitled She's Just Not That Into You, or He's Just Not That Into You, something or the other, where we hear certain things, we pick up on certain things, and we just nah, and we make excuses, but I'm gonna make her love me. I'm gonna treat her right. I'm gonna call more often. I mean, she always call me. I'm gonna love her more. I'm gonna buy her flowers. I'm gonna support her in whatever it is she wants to do. I'm gonna respect her. I'm gonna give her compliments. I'm gonna confess my feelings. I'm gonna buy her flowers. I'm gonna take her on an expensive vacation. Yeah, that's gonna win her over. I'm gonna buy her flowers. I'm gonna hug her. I'm gonna cook for her. I'm gonna buy her flowers. Shit, I'll even write her love letters. Yeah, that's gonna work.
That sound like Santana there, man.
I'm gonna laugh at her stupid jokes. I'm gonna cry if I have to. Yeah, I'm gonna buy her flowers. Hey, I'm gonna even cuddle after sex. Yeah, I'm gonna buy her flowers. I mean, how often do we misread people's action or their behavior towards us and thinking that somebody's smile or their gestures towards us is an invitation to make you move? And we just not paying attention that this person is just not that into you. They might just be courteous and smile. But somehow you think that if you do all of these things that I mentioned above and more, that you're going to win that person over. Karen, let me ask you something. You hear me mentioning flowers quite a few times.
4 times.
Has flowers ever done it for you?
Done it for me.
Yeah, where it makes you like somebody. It likes somebody or welcome them with, you just, I try to find, they bring you some flowers and you just, yeah, because you get flowers. Has that ever worked for you?
Oh boy, I tried to entrap me. I'm not following another one there, brethren.
No, flowers, you catch what I say just now, right, Sam? I don't think you get that one.
Yeah, I catch what you're meaning about last week. She told me about the brethren who just stopped by, and he was supposed to call before he come.
Don't stop by.
So I don't know if flowers go do it for I don't think flowers go do it for Karen.
No, flowers. I've always received flowers from people I've been in established relationships with. Because just any flowers just won't do. I'm not into roses and stuff like that. But as a first date or anything like that, it's not a prerequisite for me. It doesn't really impress me. What impresses me is how you present yourself and how you speak to me.
When you say present yourself, how I dress up,
Well, it doesn't have to be dressed up. It could be in a nice dress shirt or a nice polo and a wonderful pair of jeans. You know, clean shoes.
The presentation, how I
physical presentation
myself.
Yeah. Clean.
So, you like a presentation, Karen?
You can't show. Listen, you know, when I first moved to Florida, coming from New York, for those who are watching and don't know, coming from New York, you expect the guy to be like GQ, whether it's GQ casual or GQ going to a boardroom type GQ.
I don't think young people know that term, you know.
Huh?
I don't think young people know that term.
Tight, nice, right? You come to Florida and you go into a club, and you as a woman, you're dressed to the nines, trying to like really, represent. And the guys are coming in with jeans and sneakers. Like, who you want to dance with? Me? No, I took some time to put myself together. You should have done the same thing. That's just my thing.
So you telling me that you're not going to tolerate somebody based on how they dress? You're going to take flight and you wouldn't entertain that individual.
That's flight. Maybe
just because he just happens to have on some jeans and sneakers. You're going to take flight.
I think presentation is important. The flowers are not extremely important in a new relationship to me. Not extremely.
But doesn't that depend on the kind of date it is? What if it's a date that requires you to wear sneakers?
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, depends on if it's appropriate. Now, you can have on some really sharp sneakers, a nice pair of jeans, a nice dress shirt, or a nice polo, but it depends on where the hell we're going. If I'm going to a club with you and that's how you show up, be like, buddy, look at me and look at you. We got a match. If you're going sailing for the day or going to a park, yeah, sneakers are fine. Appropriateness.
So you see, that's kind of superficial.
It is. I didn't say it wasn't. It is. We got to match. I can't be dressed to the nines and you have on sneakers. That don't work for me.
You know what would be the sad part? To meet an individual in a club, turn him down because he happened to have on jeans and sneakers. Pick up the individual who just happened to be dressed nice, right? In all of that, and when the club over now and you come outside, the gentleman who in the jeans and sneakers jump into the Bugatti and watch you and drive off, and the individual who you pick up asks you for a ride home.
You're assuming that I'm going to be impressed by the
No, he's going to catch your bus.
Beautiful car.
But I'm impressed with you.
No, but you see,
I'm impressed with you. So whatever you're wearing is not going to be the end all be all.
That part of his presentation
has to be. We have to be sort of equal in how
Isn't that part of his presentation? How he shows up to the club. The gentleman drives a Bugatti, have on jeans and sneakers, and you turn him down.
That's not going to make it for me.
You turn him down and pick up the individual who just looking nice and
that's not going to make it for me. It's just not. It's not. It's not a deal breaker if you're driving a Honda. You know what I'm saying?
So I just
catching the bus later.
Yeah, he just
stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Geographic documentary with the fish and the male fish? I think is it fish or lobster? They do no kind of dance to
well,
boy.
most animals,
Big
male
competition,
animals have to dance.
Big competition to get the attention of the female.
Most males, choose any species. Most males have to do a little dance.
Doing breads, the men doing all kind of dance.
Show me that it's worth it.
Style and thing. They're like, yo, come with the freshness.
Most males in the species, whatever species you're talking about, they all have to do a little dance.
Boy.
Better show those colors.
So let me ask you all something now. Since you talk about meeting somebody in a club, well, let me answer this part too. I am not big on flowers, on flowers around the house and giving you flowers, and because somehow when you have flowers going outside, they're beautiful. Everybody can enjoy them. I think it's kind of selfish when you just go chop them flowers down and put them inside for you alone to enjoy. Now they begin to wither, they begin to die. You alone want to enjoy these flowers, so now I buy them for you, and you alone enjoy them for like a day, and then they start to wither. I think that's kind of something selfish about that. And somehow a lot of flowers around the place kind of remind me of wreaths, like funeral. like a funeral, and I am not one that's too big on having a bunch of flowers, cut flowers all around
You have
my
an
environment.
entire industry, national, international, that is dependent on those cut flowers for their dollars,
Well,
right?
not my dollars.
Well, maybe not yours, but there are a lot of women. I think many women. I would say most because I don't know most women, but I think many women appreciate a gesture. Doesn't have to be a full bouquet. Depends on where you're going. Maybe just one flower. For a lot of women, we've been conditioned to think the rose, the rose, the rose.
So
One rose.
let me ask you something. We talk about, you mentioned about meeting somebody in a club.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me talk about a blind date. Would any of you here endure a blind date just to be courteous to the other individual? I mean, even if you weren't feeling it from the onset, somebody set you up with a blind date and you walk in and something inside of you was like, hell no.
Never done a blind date, but had I, like, say, if a good friend, somebody I trusted, set me up, I'd give it my best try. But if that person was offending the hell out of me with some silly, quirky behavior, or something really uncouth, something really, nasty ways about him, I would find a way. I just
Sometimes
I gotta go. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much.
So
that's flight.
Sometimes in life you meet people and you think it's for one reason, but it's for a totally different reason.
We got somebody trolling, Sam. Take that thing off. Sorry for cutting you. We got somebody trolling.
Yeah, why they trolling?
I have no idea.
Okay.
What does that mean?
They just send some kind of thing in here, and yeah. But as I was saying, what was I saying?
You meet somebody for one reason and.
Oh, right. So it could because that happened to me before. You meet someone, you think it's a certain type of attraction, but it turns out to be something else.
You mean maybe physical versus intellectual attraction?
Well,
something like that.
It may have turned into some form of friendship. Maybe more on a platonic level. So sometimes that can happen.
Sure.
You're like, yeah, it was, or you realize that you're related.
Oh, good Lord, no. Nightmare. That's what women's dreams are made of, these nightmares, especially from the islands. You're like, who are you people? What part of that? If we're from the same island, weird. Come on, help me out. I can't afford this. I can't afford these kind of mistakes.
Yeah, so that happens sometimes.
That's a flight. Oh, you're from where? St. Thomas, St. Mary, St. Sorry, can't do it.
So you saying, Sam, just to be courteous, you will tolerate individual on a platonic level. Just what, out of respect for the people who set you all up, or respect for the individual sitting in front of you at the time?
Well, just for the whole situation. I mean, not everything, would end up in a wham bam thing,
Sure.
So at least you want to give it a chance,
But he was talking about extremes. If you have somebody with very extreme behavior, that's
well, not even behavior. I'm just saying from the onset. People set you up on a date. They're thinking, well, you're gonna like this individual for whatever reasons, and you meet this individual, whether it's on Tinder, whether it's a blind date or whatever it is, and you walk into that situation. Will you still proceed with that date, mere courtesy, or are you the type of individual cut and dry to say, like, this ain't gonna work out? No, I don't like you, or you're not of my standards, and keep it moving?
I will do both, but it depends on the situation. So if the courtesy is not returned, or if the courtesy is not mutual, then what's the point sitting there tolerating? Why sit there and tolerate it? So may as well just call it a night.
I think a lot of us men are a lot more tolerant and give women a lot more leeway than they give us. Because a woman have no reservation to look at you and say, no.
No.
No, right? Cut right in the middle of your sentence. In the middle of your sentence, cut you off. No.
No.
And you just have to laugh it off. I guess some of us, we go thick skin over time and know how to deal with this. So we keep pursuing and turn down and pursuing and turn down until somebody say yes somewhere along the line. I am not one like that. I have very thin skin. My feelings get hurt easily.
Really?
Yeah. My feelings get hurt quite easily. That's why I don't hunt outside. I don't in the club. I don't hunt in the club. I don't holler on the street. You know, see a woman. Hey, excuse me. Very seldom do I know. It had to be something on a deeper level that I feel, or something I see in that individual, or some kind of premonition. But to just walk because somebody look good and start talking them or call for their attention, I don't do that. I have thin skin.
Okay.
I'm one of those like we had a saying home, when the fox can't get the grapes, he said sour. That's me. Excuse me. Could I speak? No. I don't talk to people like you, but you're ugly anyway. No. If you try to hurt me, I'm gonna say something back to you to make you not feel so good, because you didn't have to go there. So I would throw something back at you. So let me tell you something. This is something I've done or said. Stand up and you just happen to be looking at somebody, and they turn on and give you that stink face. What are you looking at? I say, I was asking myself the same question. What the hell am I looking at? That is my comeback for something like that. No, don't.
Because not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. I'm looking and I'm trying to figure it out. What the hell am I looking at? Yeah, don't. Women have a coolness about them as to how they dismiss women.
I need you to be a little narrow your view a little bit.
How?
Some women, many, something like that.
Across the board. Are you telling me that you let people down gently, or you just cut and dry with what you have to say?
Well, that is my birthright. I'm sort of cut and dry.
Lucy said Trini man.
So is Lucy saying that all Trini men have sensitive skin?
No, not sensitive, but they will. Let me tell you something. They will tell you about your so and so in a heartbeat. If you disrespect them on the street. It had I saw this meme one time. Some fella stand up by the doubles man, right? And a nice thing passed by, and one fella say, "Woo, boy, that hot!" And she say, "Oh, I got a man." He said, "No, sweetheart, I told about the doubles. It's the doubles." Is the doubles hot? The doubles hot, not you. So women have this tendency to cut men off in their advances. But I understand it to a point. I mean, since you've been 12, 13 years old?
Before that,
man trying to get between your legs. I understand. But I don't sympathize with you. I understand, but I don't sympathize with you. Because somehow, if you have a tolerance level of 10 men trying to talk to you per day, I'm just saying, 9 of them don't talk to you, and I come as number 10, and you finally glad I'm the last one, and you're coming, no, and you just cut me up. No, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. Hear what I have to say, and this is why I diss people when they try to diss me. I trust me, I do it. I've done it, and that is how I fly. That's my flight. I don't stay and fight for your attention. If you diss me, I will diss you back and keep moving. And I've done it. Women step to and say, "No, sweetheart, I'm just trying to tell you, pull up your zip." or no, you have some by your mouth, right? No, wipe your nose. No, I stick to fly, but I will not fight for a situation where I'm being disrespected on the street or in a social environment by any woman just to fight for what? For my dignity, fight for my self-respect? No, I will hold on to what little I have left and take flight. So last week we talked a lot about red flags. We brought up a whole lot of red flag situations where we need to take flight in a relationship as opposed to holding on and fighting. And one of the things I'd like to mention also, you're familiar with the term stonewalling?
Stonewalling.
Yeah, where somebody
Like
just
delaying something, putting off something.
no, where somebody just shut you out. You try to talk, you try to be communicative. What's the word?
Communicative.
Communicative. You know, you try to express your feelings, as I stated earlier on, and this other individual just shut you out.
That's stonewalling? Really?
Yeah, where they just become cool.
Yeah.
They want to punish you for opposing or upsetting them, and they don't want to talk about it. You know, sometimes, or another individual want to match the coldness of somebody else. So you have two individuals who just being cold towards each other, mirroring exactly what the other person doing to you.
Are you talking about strangers on the street or established
No,
relationship?
in a relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Red flags in a relationship. Somebody who just shut you out. Stonewalling. Is that something that you do or something that you tolerate at all?
Neither. Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think that will put somebody off completely, especially if the person wants to have an actual conversation. I'm not gonna just like, no, I don't think that's who I am.
But sometimes you could be beyond the conversation. But depending on what it is, the person who is normally stonewalling is either trying to make a point or I guess in the workplace is somewhat like a payback. You know, if it's in a work environment, if it's in a relationship, of an intimate relationship, it's not. It's about a point, but it will end at a certain. You know, it's something that will be for like a short period of time.
I don't know. I don't think I have a proper understanding of the term stonewalling. I really don't. I don't know.
Well, they're not they're not communicative back to you.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
It's sort of like you're trying
They just block you. They just block you out.
Yeah, that's
right. So that's a stone wall, right?
Shut you out. Talk to the hand. You try to communicate, right. They walk away. They're
okay.
They're like a stranger in the same environment for you, and they get, sometimes people carry on.
I got lost in the fray there just from the term trying to.
So I will see situations where, and like couples, whether it's the guy or because the guy might do it, or the wife or the girlfriend might do it, if there's something that they want the other partner to get some sort of a point, whatever it might be. Pick up your jockey shorts that you leave in the hallway, or maybe a bad decision was made financially, or somebody was embarrassed by something. Then one part of the one party will be not communicative. Although you try to communicate, there's just, they stonewall you. You're talking to the hand. They're not responding normally. Like if things are normal, it's totally different. So which means that either they're upset about something, or they're trying to convey, trying to convey a point, and then but sometimes it can go too far in some aspects.
You mean weeks in?
So which means that the one party will sort of stop doing it, and then because they need to come back as a unit anyway. So it's sort of short lived. It might be like a day, it's like, okay, now we communicate through the day, and Like, what's going on with this? Why they not answering, or why this is going on, or why that is going on? Um, so now it's affecting you because that's what they want to do.
But for you guys, is that a minor thing? Because for me, it's minor. Unless they really drag it out, I understand it now. What you
Well,
mean
well,
now?
first of all, the guy might have to realize that he's being stonewalled. So he might never realize it until like the next day. Like, wait, what?
But I've heard individuals who actually say they welcome it because it's like that's the only time they get her to shut up because it's like, well, okay, she is good. Let her just. Or she thinks she ain't talking to me, doing me something. All right, let's just stay right there until shut
Well,
me
we
up.
all know when you guys draw that to a close when you want some sex, right?
Isn't that the end at all? Is that the?
So you got to give in at that point.
Isn't that the end at all? You, you see, you got to understand men apologize different from women. Women come with all of this emotion, baby, I'm so sorry, let's talk and this and that. No, if a man doing that run, that no. We do not and should not communicate in such a fashion. Men apologize in a kind of way, I'll go into the store here. You want me to bring back one of them Snicker bar for you? Yeah, running out by the gas station. You want to pick up one of them Snicker bar for you?
You know what's funny?
That's it.
You criticize women for the very, very features that you appreciate in the mothers of your children. That maternal, that emotional, that compassion, that empathy, and sympathy, empathy, all of that.
Take maternal
The
out
very
of that.
things that you appreciate in that woman as the mother of your child, you don't appreciate in the
For the
woman.
children. Take maternal out of there. I don't need nobody to mother me. I don't.
No, she's a whole person. So
Yeah, but mother the
times.
children. Don't mother me. No. I mean, unless you come to put a breast in my mouth or something. Then okay, then yeah, but don't mother me. I ain't with that.
Well, you had to know, yeah, you had to know the person too.
Yeah. But Sam, you ever? I don't even quite know the description for these type of people here, but I can't live without you. I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. Is that a healthy individual? Is that a healthy relationship? Is that a healthy environment to be in when somebody constantly says stuff like that to you?
If they're stuck on that, yeah. If they're just like, you was living without me at some point in life, you didn't know me all your life, so you can't live without me now. It could be used as a term of endearment, but if it's if it's something that is
A
like
psychiatric issue.
It's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That might be Groundhog Day or something. Yeah, you might want to rectify that, or and vice versa. I mean, just try to imagine doing the same thing every day. So I'm just saying, if that's what they're hammering home, like every moment you get to talk, that's the point, that they can't live without you, then you might need to pay attention to that.
But there are other behaviors that come with that statement if that person is getting a little bit unbalanced. Other behaviors come with that. Checking your phone and maybe following you.
No. That's talking to an extent.
No, but I'm just saying there are other behaviors that are associated with that statement, and when it's getting to be a point of being unhealthy, when that person is becoming unhealthy.
Right. Yeah, and that you want to definitely avoid that.
Because we talk about dependent people, we talk about codependency, even though I believe in codependency on one level, talking from a financial perspective, but codependency as in someone who thinks that they need to be in a relationship all the time, and being in a relationship with you, now you becomes their everything, and somehow they start to put that weight on you, like, if you leave me, it will fall up. My life will fall apart. I can't live without you. So you now have this burden as if you are responsible for their well-being, to the point that this person may commit suicide if I leave them. And they put that weight on people's shoulders and try to make you think that they're everything, and I won't survive in this world without you. I think it's a heavy burden to place on someone, and it's not something that I am willing to undertake from anyone. And that is a situation where I will take flight. That's not an individual I'm willing to fix or attempt to fix.
Yeah, that could be a tough fix.
So as we talk about that, Karen, let's talk about therapy and
Therapy.
Therapy. What?
I'm repeating what you said.
Therapy and mental health.
Okay.
I know a lot of individuals, self-included, who won't be caught dead laying on a couch, sobbing and discussing their innermost feelings with a therapist. Is it a healthy thing to do, or therapy has become sort of like the thing to do? Is it hype? Is it just hype?
Some people can't get beyond themselves, or can't like fight their way out of a simple box, emotionally. Those people do need some assistance from a professional. But I think most people, healthy minded, if you have one or two good friends, you should be able to sit down on the telephone or in person and work things out. A real friend is going to tell you, hey, you're doing some dumb shit. Correct this. Do this, this, and this. Work that out. Get some help here if you need to. But if you're at a point where you don't have those solid friendships and you feel like you're coming undone, so to speak, reach out to a professional. Of course. And the stigma that something is, you are abnormal. That's some old stuff. That's some old way of thinking. Most people benefit from a couple of weeks of therapy after going through a physical, sexual trauma, or war type situations. They benefit from therapy, or years of abuse, and they finally found their way out of the situation, but they're having a hard time sort of collecting themselves and trying to get their lives back in gear. A therapist would be wonderful in that situation.
Sam?
Yeah, they have their purpose. You can't look at someone and see if they have a mental issue. I mean,
I usually look at their head and look at their feet, though.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Look, it's not like you see it. So you need to have the people that
check the head. Is the hair tight?
Because
style right.
So you have to talk. Someone has to talk and understand what's going on in the mind of the person.
Look at the feet.
So
shoes match. The socks match.
This is
a serious thing.
I mismatched for a little while, but it was a style. It wasn't.
No, it's more than just mismatch. It would be like socks that really, started to shred. The shoes have holes, and this is somebody who's actively functioning in a work environment, but it's coming undone bit by bit. So becoming more disheveled in physical appearance, or maybe not showering and stuff like that. But you could always look at the head and look at the feet. You okay?
No. Again, there'll be some people that you wouldn't really catch them actually going to find a shrink. That's just not their thing. It's not.
Especially people from the Caribbean islands who feel that there is something wrong with seeking help. Yeah.
Well,
So let me ask you something. If you met an individual and all they can talk about is therapy, and they talk to their therapist, and I meet with my therapist tomorrow, and when my therapist told me this, and my therapist this, and my therapist that, and I'm in therapy for this, and and they just seem so consumed that everything is about therapy and therapy, almost like without this they will become unhinged. Is that a safe situation to get into, or a healthy situation, individual that you should engage?
They need to stabilize themselves before they enter into a relationship with you or anybody else. No, I would not enter into a situation like that. I really wouldn't. And when people talk to you, you've got to listen. You really do. They're trying to tell you, "Hey, I don't have my shit together." So I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it together, but not quite there yet. Okay, we can talk on the phone, but I won't be seeing you. Oh hell no, you won't know where I live. No, not a hell.
So okay, we all here have been in a relationship or two that didn't work out.
Or 10 or 20 or 30.
Let's talk about somebody, your mate, that significant other, pushing you away, or in some cases, chasing you. Is it a foregone conclusion that this person just not that into you? They don't want you no more? Or is it worth the effort to try and save this situation, to save this? So many people, like I said, we try to hold on to things that we should let go, and you find yourself pulling on a piece of barbed wire, that it would be so much less painful if we just let it go. But some of us, we just tend to hold on for dear life, causing ourselves more pain and suffering. Is it a foregone conclusion? Is it worth the effort? That's my question.
Somebody's trying to chase you away. You're still trying to hold on. Gotta go.
Well, at some point you will get the message.
I gotta go.
That this person feels that they're at the end of the world with you. You know, like, okay, I'm good. Or it might be that they want a reaction out of you. You know, so it could be they're trying to get a reaction, or it could be that, you know, or one of our artists that's being challenged. He has a song called "When a Woman's Fed Up," and nothing you could do about it. You know, sometimes people reach a point where it's like, you know, they're fed up. There's really no recourse.
So it's a foregone conclusion. So that individual should, in fact, take flight.
But you do have couples who seem to break up every other week and have been together for years. Usually, those are usually younger couples. Let's give them the credit they deserve on that one. But there's some couples that they break up every other week.
They're missing each other,
strong.
you know.
They've been
You're away for like 20 minutes. I miss you.
But we stay in these situations, and sometimes all we get out of it is long-term emotional abuse. And in my opinion, long-term abuse have long-term effects. And sometimes these effects, it affects a person's sense of self. It affects your own integrity. Once again, is that healthy? Or is that a situation where you just, you know what, drop it, I'm out, I'm gone? Worth the fight.
That's up to the individual to decide. I mean, if it's unhealthy for you, why are you there?
Yeah, some people could see.
Get out of there. What do you want?
Where it would go, you know, they like you've been around the block so many times, you can predict, you know, what this is gonna be going this way. And they just say, all right, well,
across the street, right?
Yeah, say that again.
You can see them from across the street, be like,
yeah,
do not come over here, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Stay right there. I'm good. You good?
Did you guys ever see the movie King of Thieves?
Yeah.
I believe I did. No, that's a Michael Caine.
Is Michael
the English guy? Anyway, go ahead. Tell me about it. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No, the one who plays he played Batman's.
Yes, Michael Caine.
Yeah, but it's a bunch of older guys, and when you look at the film, the storyline, I'm not giving it away, but the moral of it was he saw certain things in play, and then he said, "I'm out," because he knew, based on what he saw that was happening, that it was going to be a disaster. And so said, so done. He left the robbery, and everything that was supposed to happen happened. And sometimes you have the gift of intuition, and you're
You
like, well, you
always
know
have the
what?
gift of intuition. You choose not to use it.
Yeah, and you just say, I need to get out of here, or let me just move a different direction with
Hi,
this.
welcome.
Welcome to King Josh. That's one of your people.
Who is it?
Somebody's saying good evening. There is King Josh.
King Josh. Okay. Whoever King Josh is, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Yeah. So yeah. If they're exercising the gift of intuition, you could
It's
tell.
when you choose to ignore what you know innately inside. You can assess somebody and be like, no.
So for
There are certain
example, Curtis,
situations where you know right away.
But so Curtis, for example, when he was telling Karen, well, she, probably 10, 12 people trying to talk to she per day.
Never
I mean, at some point, as she heard the first sentence,
she's already dismissive.
But one of the best things about getting older is that you just don't have time for the crap. I can't speak for men, but I think I can speak for a lot of women that I've spoken to. You don't have time for it. The person could physically look very attractive, even have decent conversational skills, but once you ask a few key questions, you're like, no, or because of their behavior across the room, across the street, don't even think of coming over here. I'm good. You be good. Bless. Well, good. For real.
well, good.
Yeah, you can see them from across the street now. You have an idea how they're gonna approach.
Like I say, I think you already seasoned. You have plenty experience turning men down from since you're 12. So it's something extremely easy for you to do, and somehow
your skills through the years. That's all I'm saying.
And somehow you all expect us men to behave the same way when we get advances, right? That's what you all expect.
Because you guys are not thinking with this. You understand? You're not thinking up here.
Okay, so, all right.
That's part of the problem.
All right, let's just admit that. Let's just own that. All right. Let me own that on behalf of men. Okay? let me own that. So if it is already established that we don't think with this head, why do you act surprised when we don't?
I don't act surprised.
Come on.
About whom are you speaking?
Come on. You all want to act surprised when we don't think with this head.
Stay over there. I am fine.
People don't like rejection. People don't like rejection. So it really, if a woman is confident in herself, she knows she look good, everything on point, and then she come to this guy, and the guy is like, nah, I'm good. That blows her mind. Like,
what the hell he think he is?
Yeah, a lot of chicks, a lot of women, if they're physically very, what is considered very attractive on this hemisphere, oh my God, how dare you, turn me down type vibe.
It's like, how many hours it took for me to do my hair?
Never been that female.
How many hours it took for me to get into this dress? How many hours?
That is the crap. That is the crap I don't like, because then they say, "Oh no, I'm not doing this for men. I'm doing this for me." Yeah, you're doing it to get attention. That's half a woman out there doing it for attention. And when you get the attention, you want to act all thing and then don't want to talk. You don't want to respond when a man gives you a compliment. You want to act as you the best thing God put on the face of the earth. No, you treat me well, I will diss you. I tell you, I will send it back. I'm very good at tennis. You throw that. Good evening, Sherelle. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm telling you, If you want to act all stush and I just give you a pleasant good evening, or
Americans say bougie.
bougie, I might have been asking you for directions to go someplace and you skin up your nose and think I will diss you. Trust me, I will diss you. Don't act all special and all thing, because no. The world doesn't revolve around you and your new hairdo.
You put a lot of effort into this, though.
Yeah?
Curtis, you put a lot of effort into that.
Into what?
The dissing thing.
No, trust me, it comes easily.
I know that, but yeah, I think you still put a lot of effort into it.
No, I don't put effort into it. You act right, I will treat you right. But the minute you step off, trust me, I could snap back. I'm quick.
And age brings reason. You know, you can tell something a mile away. Okay, this is what this is, and yeah.
So let me ask you all something. Once you're in a relationship now, what about ultimatums? For me, that's a flight situation straight up. I'll tell you off the bat. Do not. Did I say do not? Do not ever give me an ultimatum, because I always want to see what's behind door number 2. Don't tell me so and so or else else what? Or else what? No, bring it on. Do not ever give me an ultimatum and tell me act this way or else, and leave that sentence there. No, or else what? Then you would have to show me what you're talking about.
I don't know if that's necessarily true across the board. Depends on how much time you invested, and depends on the type of relationship. I don't think if you're in a marriage, you get an ultimatum and you're just gonna like,
no,
I'm out. No,
I didn't say I'm out. I'm just telling you, do not give me ultimatums.
I don't think most people respond like that. Ultimatums, you have to be willing to follow through. If you don't follow through, then you won't be taken seriously.
He probably wants to test to see if it's a bluff. You know, it could be a bluff.
No, I don't deal with them well at all. Not on the street, and damn sure not in the house. I don't deal with ultimatums well at all.
Well, not dealing with it well is a different thing than taking flight as a result of the ultimatum. There should certainly be a conversation about, hey, look at here. Don't go in this direction with me, because you're not gonna like how I respond.
You remember the one you saw? I think Sam, you mentioned this. Curtis. Oh, Lucy. Lucy. Punctuation is very important. You're telling me I like a bad woman, or I am like a bad woman? Please clarify what you're talking about.
You know Trini speak. You know damn well what she means.
I think you know what she means.
Lucy, please clarify what you mean when you say just now.
When you say what you say.
When you say what you say just now, please clarify. Okay, but she take what the hell I was going to say. I was talking something about. Yeah, Sam, you remember the one you saw on Instagram where the woman she get the guy ultimatum and she say, "Hey, if you only walk out of that door tonight, don't come back." And he get on the ground and he roll. and you roll through the door.
Oh God, you're not gonna like that one, yeah.
He say you are like a bad woman.
Oh my gosh, boy. Lucy.
No.
This
young lady here comparing me or my actions or my threats to that of a bad woman.
You asked for a qualification, you got it.
I ask her to whatever she's talking about. I'm trying to figure out what brought that on. She said, "I am like."
I thought she meant that you attract bad women.
This is why I asked for clarification. I need to know what she's talking about.
No, you got the clarification.
But now she said, "I am like a bad woman." Because
I think Lucy want to steady put up tonight.
You may have to go to therapy to deal with that one.
Therapy, you ain't getting me no couch sobbing and no, that ain't gonna happen.
Here it is.
That ain't gonna happen. I don't give
all these years in this country, you still maintain that same attitude.
So because I'm in America, I'm supposed to do it like the Americans do?
No, I didn't say all of that. I say you should be more open to certain.
I supposed to be there, Dr. Judith. Lucy tell me I like a bad woman. I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, you might have to let it all out.
That ain't one of the ways I learn it out.
So you can feel so much better about yourself.
So much better. No, that is not one of the ways. You ain't catching me in no couch, sobbing, talking about something. No, that ain't gonna happen. So, yeah. But Sam, like I say, the fella where she tell him don't walk out the door. If he walk through the door, don't come back. So he get on the ground and he roll, or you do a backflip and he go up. That is not the same thing, right? I didn't walk out. So which means he roll out. He could come back.
You come back, the locks are changed, your clothes are in garbage bags outside the door, and
somebody sing about,
and that's that technical loophole that you men find.
Somebody sing about that a few years ago. Why you pack all my clothes in a garbage bag? And that song still hitting in the party nowadays. Why you pack all my clothes in a garbage bag? Now, this brings me to another point. Now, none of us here are drinkers. But over the course of my life, I've known a lot of men who they forced into the habit. It's either they forced into it or they forced themselves into the habit of hitting the bar or hitting the bottle as opposed to confronting your significant other for whatever the disposition of this individual is, whatever the look of this individual might be, whatever it is that may be turning that individual off. But they turn to the bottle, they turn to an escape as opposed to confronting the demon that they live with. Hitting the bar.
You think that people start drinking because of a partner?
Yeah.
People started drinking for their own personal reasons, not being able to deal with their life.
Isn't that part of their life?
A partner in particular.
Isn't that part of their life?
Yeah, but not because of that one person.
You say
you don't start drinking because of one person.
Hey, let me tell you something. A lot of people say, boy, life is short, boy. Life is short. Let me tell you something. Life could be long if you're with the wrong person. Having to come home every day. Every day you work hard, you go out there, you're doing your best, and then when you hit the door, or when you hit the entrance to the track to come home, you say, oh gosh, boy, you walk back and you go take 2 drinks because you know what it is you're going to confront when it is you're walking that door.
We need to invite some alcoholics on the program for one episode and talk about what led them to drink in the first place. And I promise it won't be a girl or a woman or whatever. Won't be that won't be their reason. The reason will be like, abuse, emotional, physical, sexual, whatever, certain major stuff. Not a partner that you can get rid of. That's not why they started drinking. That's not how they developed a drinking.
You see how easy you say that you could get rid of. Sometimes they can't.
They can. If you have to kill the person or whatever, but you can.
What?
I know, I'm not promoting violence on this YouTube channel.
So, you see,
put a disclaimer out there before they.
You see, she talking about fighting, but that's a different kind of fight. She into violence, right? She into violence, which I will not advocate, but that is what she's stating. Fight, as opposed to somebody hitting the bottle. But like I said, I've known individuals who hit the bottle instead of going home and facing the demons.
There's more behind it than that. That's what I'm saying. It's not the person. It's the situations they're dealing with. Maybe they're not making the bills and have to deal with the same types of arguments as a result of that, or something like that. They're not really cutting it financially, or they're not cutting it sexually, or something like that. Something more profound than just that human being that they're dealing with. That's my opinion. Sticking to that.
As she talk about that abusive situation, I remember a guy I know in Brooklyn. He had a girl, and I take it based on what he told me that he used to beat the girl. He used to, Jamaican guy, you know. So every time she act out a character, you know, drape her up and couple how he slap and, you know, put her in a place. In his opinion, this was their relationship. He didn't think that she had any great issue with it.
Really?
But little did he know, she did. She encouraged him to move from New York to Georgia. And when I say Georgia, we're not talking downtown Atlanta, Savannah. We're talking back of the woods, Georgia.
Country.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. This guy, no, trust me. Hey, let me tell you something. This here was a bad man. You hear what I tell you? This was one bad boy on the street. Because I actually see this individual box up one boy at the corner of Church Avenue one morning. Saturday morning. You know how busy that intersection, Church and Flatbush. Busy intersection. And have a boy outside on the doorstep of the church and women money. Yeah, box him down. No fear for police or anybody around. Just manners up this man on the street. And I take it that this is the same behavior he displayed at home with this particular girl. So like I said, she baited him into moving to Georgia. I don't know why he chose to tell me about the situation when he came back to New York. But she knew exactly who he was, and she knew exactly what she was doing. The thing was, when he got to Georgia, Georgia didn't make a difference into how she behaved, and it didn't make a difference into how he treated her. So when my boy got into his thing and put her in a place, she had 3 brothers. Now, these brothers didn't know that he's supposed to be a bad man. These brothers weren't familiar with Jamaicans per se. They weren't familiar with the Jamaican lingo. They didn't know they're supposed to be act a certain way when he behave a certain way. And they beat his ass. I'm telling you, these 3 brothers get together and they put a beating on my boy. I tell you, he left everything and ran back to Brooklyn, leaving all his possessions back in Georgia. Wow. And this brother confessed this thing to me. He said, yo, boy, that man, them never know, say me a bad man, you know, and them. Boy, they beat me.
He could have been buried in the backwoods. He's fortunate.
Exactly. So that was a situation where my girl decided to take flight. But she took him on the flight. Right? She took him on the flight, knowing well and good that is either he act accordingly now in her environment or go back where you come from.
This is, that's what she went through a lot of effort there. I'm gonna move with Duppy. Duppy not supposed to follow you. You're not supposed to invite Duppy to follow you. Or Jumbie as you guys call him. You're not supposed to invite Duppy to follow you. You take up your stuff, you plan your stuff, and you exit stage right. Leave that apartment, that house in New York, leave him, and you go and start fresh.
But she probably knew even if she came back to New York 2 years later and he saw her, he might just be bright enough to roll up on her and exhibit the same behavior. So she had to let him know that them 3 brothers, they don't play. You know, they don't play with baby sister. So if you ever raise your hand again, that is what you will have to deal with. They will come for you. And I don't know what the outcome of that situation was, whether or not she came back to Brooklyn or whether or not he put his tail between his leg and went back to Georgia. I don't know, but that was a rather interesting dynamic of fight or flight. She decided to fight while she took flight and really send a message home that he need to act accordingly. So that there was a very interesting case of abuse and how it is she chose to deal with it. But any of you here ever dealt with an individual, somebody who has or had absolutely no self-control, or at least they pretended that they don't?
Self-control?
Yeah.
Somebody who I actually said to someone, listen, you were joking about it on the last episode about not cursing. When I'm in a relationship, I don't curse at the person. I ask that the person not curse at me. And this person seemed as if he didn't have any control when he got very angry. could not prevent himself from doing that. And that was a flight for me, quick and easy for me. Because if I'm going to go long term with someone and I'm saying, listen here, this is a core issue for me. As I said, everybody has their particular standards. I will not curse at the man I'm involved with on a romantic level. I expect him not to curse at me. It doesn't mean that he can't curse around me, or at something else. It just means if you're directing it at me, it's a problem, and I will not direct it at you. And he couldn't control it. And that for me, that was a flight. I left that situation definitely as a result of that, without a doubt.
I've seen multiple situations where women, and let me don't say women, let me say black women. I don't know about how Spanish women behave. I don't know how Asian behave, white women behave. I've never been in any lengthy relationship with either one of them to draw a conclusion. But we have a lot of sisters who just, they wear this nasty attitude like a badge of honor. The thing at the head and the talking and the loudness and the disrespect and pointing in somebody's face and all of this thing. And then they claim that they have no self-control. Why it is? You can't tell me, because when I get upset, I get and I can't control myself and I rah, 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 rah. Don't tell me to shut up. Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to rah, 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 rah. And they just can't seem to zip it and communicate effectively, talk. But you know what happened? When police show up in the situation, all of a sudden they have a different, that same attitude that they had towards the black man, they don't have it towards the white man when he show up. The police show up and then, yes, officer, yes. And what happened? You had no self-control. How come you couldn't talk just now? And the minute the officer show up, because now, how did Eddie Murphy say? There are consequences and repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden now, you know how to act accordingly when the white man show up. But when you're dealing with the black man, you have a stinking attitude. You're loud, you're aggressive, you want to fight, you want to hurt somebody. And when the white man show up, you all of a sudden you know how to behave. I've also seen a lot of sisters. I don't know what it is about here, but when they're in these relationships with white boys, they take on a different tone. There's a different tone. They speak differently when they're in a relationship with a white guy. I somehow
you have to adjust.
Oh, yeah, adjust. He deserves respect. He deserves your gentle side, right? But we deserve your ugliness. What is that about?
I couldn't tell you. But it sounds like you need some therapy. Seems as if you've endured something that you may need to.
No, that have nothing. I stated that I have nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. I have never been in a relationship with an Asian woman. I've never been in a relationship with a Hispanic woman. I have never been in any long-term relationship with a Caucasian woman. I keep it close to home. Sam, the attitude thing, talk to me about that.
How many of that have you dealt with?
What's that about?
That needs some scientific research.
Scientific research,
yeah, I try to avoid that whole thing there. If it's happening over there, I go in so.
But you see, that's why you're supposed to test people out, test them temperament.
Test who?
Test their temperament.
An individual before you get into a serious
before you get into a long-term relationship, before you get into a relationship.
Well, no,
you're telling me we should push buttons.
I don't even think we're going to get to the relationship part. Yeah. We're not even getting to the relationship part. Once I see that it's part of your ammo.
But you may not see that when you're meeting that person initially, but maybe you'll see that a couple of dates down and you do a few little things. Maybe you don't call the next day like you said you would. And see what type of response. You have to test people. I don't know why people think it's a bad thing. I think it's an excellent thing that I've always practiced.
Good luck with that.
Test them. No, man, I don't mean in any disrespectful anything. I'm just saying you need to know what you're doing. I've always felt like as a woman, if I'm going to go away with you on a weekend trip within the country, outside the country, it doesn't even matter. I have to know how you're going to respond to me under certain conditions. The first, are you going to reach for my neck? You're going to be slapping me? Well, are you going to punch a door, punch a wall? I have to have an idea of what your temperament is like. I've always tested men. Always. Always. It's important. My life could be on the line. We're in a cabin somewhere. Hardly anybody knows where I am because I'm very private. That's not when I need to know that you're going to put a fist through, to my face. We can't do that. Can't handle that.
You see, most people tend to think that abuse is all about control. But I don't believe I don't believe that to be entirely true, Karen, based on what you're telling me now.
Control?
Yeah.
Test?
Abuse. I don't think abuse is all about control, based on what you're telling me right now.
For the most part, it is. Somebody's trying to control your behavior.
But isn't that what you're just telling me you're willing to do? You trying to abuse me to get a certain reaction out of me?
I want to see what type of response I'll get.
Or so,
will you be verbally?
Or if my hand go on your neck.
Yeah, I want to know how you're going to respond. You have to find out. You have to find out. I have to find out before I go away with you on some weekend or a week away out of the country. Nobody knows where I am. I don't have anybody to reach out to. I have to know. I have to know how you're going to behave. Yes.
But you also need to understand that hurt people, right?
I need to know. I need to know. So I need to know.
Like I said, hurt people, right?
So you say. I need to know.
So ask yourself in that dynamic, are you the hurt person who's hurting me by trying to figure out whether or not I'll hurt you?
I'm the private investigator in my own life. So I got to know how you're going to respond to me if I don't call you like I said I would. If I say I'm outside with a girlfriend and you don't see me come back, if I don't show up on the date on time, I need to know how you're going to respond. Are you going to be verbally abusive? Are you going to put a fist in the wall, a fist in the door? I need to have an idea of how you're going to behave under different circumstances.
So are you aware that the damage you might be doing to a mate by just damage by just doing things, trying to find a response, and then if the person don't react accordingly, you push again because you're looking for something, and then when you find it, you say, there it is, but you ask for it.
Brother, me not go blind in no relationship, Me need to know.
But why raise up the ants nest and then when you get back?
I need to raise the ants nest, receive the ants, I go bite me up and kill me in just one fell swoop. What you mean? Sure.
That is just wrong. That is just wrong. Like I said, hurt people, and you have to realize that sometimes it has to do with your hurt and you hurting that other person in the process just to find out whether or not they're gonna hurt you.
I've seen and read of situations, oh, he was such a nice man. I've lived beside him for 2 years. I've never seen him upset. Meanwhile, he has a dozen women in the closet or in a freezer, and you don't know anything about it. No, man. No, you have to know people you're dealing with. No.
So, as you say, knowing people, I also hear women, especially, that make excuses for men. I hear women saying that he only hit me because he was drunk. He only hit me because I made him upset. Because if he wasn't upset, he wouldn't hit me. Is it I think, I'm not going to ask the question, it is a sad thing when I hear women making excuses for men, putting their hands on them. It's a sad situation. I don't think that he hit you because, sometimes it's just because somebody lacked the proper vocabulary to express themselves. And they resort to violence. They resort to that physical action because they don't know how to verbally express themselves. And they have to raise a hand to get a point across.
I don't think they lack the vocabulary, because if you think about abuse, whatever abuse you're talking about, it goes across all socioeconomic lines. All. You're talking college educated, advanced degrees, all that. So it has nothing to do with not being able to communicate. We go back to the word that you don't seem to like. People are trying to control the other person's behavior. Every aspect of the other person's behavior. That's where they get shaped. Mm-hmm.
So before we run, I have to talk about some of the long-term effects of bad relationships and abuse within relationships, some of the long-term effects of turning a blind eye when we see red flags and having to deal with them or live with them later on, and what this thing causes in a lot of relationships is this thing we call depression. Have any of you ever met or known someone who lost their whole sense of self over someone? So much to the point that they give up on themselves, whether it's giving up on their dreams or just losing confidence in their own ability to accomplish anything because they allow some other individual to rob them of their self-worth. I'm talking about depression here. Karen, as a health professional, what are some of the signs? What are some of the symptoms and the signs of a depressed individual that we need to look out for even before getting yourself involved?
Some of the clear-cut signs of depression, and men or women, early signs. Someone who was well put together, very professional in physical presentation, behavior. Maybe the person has undergone a divorce or the loss of a long-term relationship, and all of a sudden they're not dressing well. I made a joke earlier. They're not showering on a regular, especially over the weekend when they don't have to go to work. They don't have to go anywhere, so they just
Wait. You're telling me I depressed?
Anyway,
because
I'm sorry.
sometimes if I don't
address this at this time, I'm trying.
Sometimes if I don't have to go outside,
Sir, I'm trying to answer your question, sir. You just don't like water. That's not my issue. I'm trying to answer your question. So, the people who are getting depressed and sort of losing that level of control that they've always had, they're not. It eventually affects their personal relationships. They're not putting themselves together. They're not bathing on a regular. They have a mild, a slight odor that may get much worse. They're not dressing and coordinating their colors. And I was joking, you could tell mental illness. It sounds like I'm joking. Over 20 years of nursing, I can tell you that somebody who is depression is a mental illness. Depends on the level, the intensity of it, but they don't. If it's the hat person or a scarf person, all of a sudden they're wearing some wacky colors, or their hair and it's all disheveled, or they don't have matching socks, or maybe not matching shoes, or dirty, all over dirty shoes.
Sam, match your socks.
But
yeah, I would have to.
But when it starts to affect their work, their work performance, I think that at that point they're sort of really losing control, because they usually can hold on and hide a lot. And we talked about hoarders, people who start to collect things. It's usually because of a major loss, a death, a loss of a life partner. The person may have physically left, or the person died, and they start to collect things in their homes to a point that they can't move around in their own homes, and all types of vermin and pests set in. That's the extreme. But they may still be functioning outside in the job until they can't anymore. Until they really can't. They can't cover it up anymore. And a lot of them will end up drinking alcohol to try to cope, or using other drugs to try to cope. And that may in turn make them even physically more depressed, because alcohol is a natural depressant. So, what is that?
Or the sock over the shoe.
Anything on their head and anything on their feet. I promise you, that's a quick way to assess that person across the street. Yes, you can. Well, the more that as they're getting sort of detached from their regular lifestyle. Yeah. Did I answer the question?
Well, that is your analysis.
Care, sanitary care, hygiene, lack of hygiene. I met this guy in Walmart. You just reminded me of it. About 7, 8 maybe 7, 8 years ago, I guess. And it was a principal at a local school, um, very intelligent. Initially looked good until he smiled, and what was supposed to be white looked like a layer of cheese, like a not, like a white cheese on his teeth. And that's how I knew that he really wasn't paying attention to his oral hygiene. So I was like curious. Um, and I saw him once outside of the Walmart, and he still had the cheesy teeth, which means that was a regular thing for him at that point. He was depressed over something. I don't remember at the time if it was a relationship he had lost or something job related. He was functioning as a principal. So he hadn't gone over the edge yet, but it was just a matter of time. He was a daily drinker. I found that out. So that was a get out of Dodge situation. Let's get out of Dodge. I swear on everything. I'm like, nope, can't work with this. Not trying to go down that gully with you.
So we discuss a whole lot of issues here tonight. This question just kind of come to mind. So let me just ask you all, based on something I saw yesterday, I think, and give us your closing thoughts. I just answer the question and give me your closing arguments on this. What is a Chevelle say, or the socks over the shoe? that there is a straight up madman.
Gone out of the park.
He gone. The train left the station. If he did that. So tell me, what is a deal breaker for you? And give me your closing arguments on fight or flight. What is a direct deal breaker for you in any relationship, or even in the pursuit of a relationship? Something that you just say, you know what? Nah. I go. Yeah? Well,
Sam?
I'm gonna start with you.
Me?
Yeah. What's a deal breaker?
I've mentioned one. The cursing. I can't cursing at me. Not around me, but cursing at me. Because I curse. So let's get that one straight. But cursing at my guy, nah. That's a deal breaker for me because I don't want a lifetime of that. I can't deal with it. I think that's it gets into more degrading situations if you let that one go by. So for me, that's a flight. I leave the situation for that. Definitely, I have left the situation for that. Um, I have a problem with whiners. That's not something we talked about. I don't like men that whine. You better use the English language and express yourself clearly to me. I can't deal with the whining. Don't whine to me. It's bad enough from a child, but from a grown man, I can't handle it.
Spell that whine for me.
WHINE. The other wine, something like the other wine, man. Oh, yeah, go on, so. Oh, yeah, go on, so.
I just want to make sure I know what you're talking about, because you might send the wrong message.
That I can't stand the whiners. Have to purge those out fairly early. That wouldn't get to a long-term situation because I can't handle it. I like independent people and strength. People who know how to communicate clearly. So anyone who can't stand down. I can't. And we're already talking about the liars and the cheaters. Liars who volunteer lies to me. That's a Florida thing. I don't know. I didn't deal with it in New York. Maybe I was too busy working. I didn't meet those people in New York. But I met quite a number of them here in Florida. They volunteer lies. I didn't ask you a damn thing, and you're gonna come and tell me, a whole list of things that and another thing, not as Jamaicans would say. None of what you said to me is true. So the liars and the cheaters is a problem for me. That's it.
Any advice?
Advice
for women, fight or flight?
Well, yeah, I already said to you, I test men's temperament, because I want to know: are you gonna sling back and throw
grab your neck,
some profanity at me, How angry are you if I don't show up on time, or if I don't answer your call for 2 3 days? Are you gonna assume I'm cheating and come at me like you're some crazy man? I test men, and I'll talk it through. You know, say, look at here, you need to correct this, or we can't go any further. You know, people need to talk, and people need to test the situation. You test other relationships, but you don't want to admit it. But you test other relationships. Men test you by, hey babe, I'm gonna call you. You know, you had a great sexual night together. I'm gonna call you first thing in the morning. She's looking at the clock. She don't realize it. If she's really into you, she's looking at the clock. 12 o'clock hit. He said he's gonna call me in the morning. It's now afternoon. What's up? What's up? You know, if a day or two goes by, she starts to feel as if it was just a sexual thing for you, and you couldn't have any serious feelings for her. Test people. You guys test too. You just don't admit to it.
Mr. Archer, what is a deal breaker for you? And any advice as when someone should fight or take flight?
That's a good question. What is a deal breaker? I guess if you can't find any resolve, if we can't fix it, or we can't mend it, if it's beyond that point, then you know it's a deal breaker at that point. And not just for relationships, but even for the workplace, even for you're working with people on a business, or you're working in an office environment. Sometimes that's just you just for me, that's what that is, because the purpose that we're serving as a unit now is threatened by non-communicative means. So if you don't know what it is you're dealing with, then I prefer to be dealing with something that I'm aware of, or that I know what I'm dealing with. So it's almost like you go to McDonald's and you buy a burger, you pay for it, and then you leave it on the counter and you walk out. All right. So the whole thing was, you paid for it. It's yours, but it's right there. So instead of you taking it with you leave it on the counter. So on the religious side of things, people call it the unpardonable sin. Well, people think it's an actual thing that you do, but if you never take the pardon, it's unpardonable. that's really that's really what it is. So you went to the thing, you buy the burger, it's there. It's for you to receive it. You leave it and you walk out the door. You never received it. It's unpardonable. So for me, if I'm your friend, then we'll go to that point. We'll go to that point where we can fix it and all of that. But the deal breaker is, if you can't make a deal, then it's a deal breaker. I hope that makes sense. Um, in terms of advice, last week I said, to thine own self be true. That in this type of a context uh, is basically the same thing. Be true to yourself, and once you can be true to yourself, then you can be true to others, and pay attention. Pay attention for, like how Cheryl says, suck over the shoe. So, if you're having any situations like that, then it means we need to pay attention and see what's going on over here. So that is my 2 cents there.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that insight. Deal breaker number one for me, at this stage of my life, something I've never liked, something I've dealt with, never liked it, could never, will never accept it. And at this stage of my life, deal breaker number one for me is an argumentative woman. I cannot and will not tolerate any woman who chooses to argue and be loud and aggressive as opposed to having effective communication. Deal breaker for me right there. The minute you want to get loud and rah and talk over me and continuously interrupt and interject and not using these, you see them two things here? They're not just for wearing earrings. They're for listening. Use them. The minute you demonstrate to me that you're not willing to use these and you want to be loud and aggressive, that's it for me right there. I don't care how good you look. I don't care what else you're bringing to the table. That right there for me will be hell. And I refuse to live in hell, despite all the other trimmings that the table may come with. No. I don't care how good you look. I don't care what kind of job you have, how much you 90 grand, 100 and something grand you're pulling down a year, what you can do for me. No, you gotta go. Or you will never be. Nah. And as far as fight or flight, I need for you, and when I say you, I'm not speaking to any, not gender specific. I need for you as an individual to begin erasing doubt from your mind. Begin erasing doubt from your life. You are capable of achieving so much more. You have the ability to accomplish anything you set your mind to. There was a gentleman by the name of Napoleon Hill who said it best. Whatever the mind could conceive and believe, it can achieve. For the ones who read the Bible, it says, keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Somewhere in Matthew 7, it says something to that effect. Keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Whatever you can believe and set in your mind, you can achieve it. Stop allowing other people to set milestones for you, stunting your growth, telling you what you're capable of doing, making you believe that you'll be nothing without them. You see, I mentioned it before, and even though I strongly agree that in today's society, it is imperative that we live codependent lives. I mean, from a financial perspective, I sincerely don't think that you should be dependent upon somebody else. A lot of people tend to use that, your dependency, as a means of controlling you, controlling your life. Other individuals should not, and they do not define who you are and what you are capable of becoming. I urge you, and I'm speaking once again, not gender specific, because there are women that do it. There are women that hold on men in a relationship and want to control them. Yeah. Sugar mamas. They don't like to call themselves that, but yeah, a lot of women do it. Hold a man down and then put him in his place. You don't open your mouth inside of here. You're not no man inside of this house. No. Don't put yourself in a situation like that. And especially as a woman, no man should ever treat you that way or talk to you that way. Do not allow that. I urge you, do not let anybody define you and tell you what you are capable of becoming. I urge you, continue aiming high. Aim high. The only person you're in competition with in this life should be yourself. Every day, try to become a better person than you were the day before. And if someone who you involve with, make sure that they're adding value to your life. And if they don't see if they don't see your worth, then it's time to take flight. Run. Peace and blessings.
Bless.
Hi, I'm Dr. Judith Barnes. I'm an author, a playwright, poet, I'm also a broadcaster by training, and I recently found out about 2 years ago that I can paint paintings, which means I paint sceneries, I paint landscape, I paint animals. I have just discovered, and so that I can do this. And so along with all the other gifts and talents that I've been blessed with, I have paintings, and they are on view and for sale on Etsy and also on Facebook. And if you desire to order any painting or order one of my books, because I'm also an author, please give me a call at 470-5...
Hello there and welcome. My name is Curtis Henry. Over the past few weeks, as we were putting the final pieces together to get the show on the road, some people asked, why do you need to showcase Caribbean people? Why Caribbean Chat? And I say, why not? Because we as Caribbean people have worked too hard, come too far, and suffered too long for us to continue taking a backseat. It's time for us to rise up, speak out, and show the world the value and the richness of our culture. So I'm providing a platform to showcase the history and culture of Caribbean people in entertainment, the arts, politics, sports, and economics. We will explore the many profound contributions they have made to society. So we invite you to stay with us as we launch what is to become one of the greatest voices of Caribbean people, for Caribbean people, by Caribbean people. On this platform, Caribbean people of excellence get to tell their story. Our aim is to ensure that your contributions are acknowledged and celebrated. Welcome to Caribbean Chat. So make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We are Caribbean Chat.
Showtime. Hi, we are the Henry Boys. I'm Joshua.
I'm Daniel. Now it's Mom.
We're inviting you to read a copy of our father's book, Tiny Little Spider and Nursery Rhyme.
Hey, what do you mean a father's book? This is my book. I'm on the cover. Me, Imani. But let's not forget our sister Imani started writing this book.
And our dad finished it. So get a copy.
For yourself or for your child.
Tiny Little Spider, a nursery rhyme by Curtis B. Henry and Imani Smith. Now available on Amazon.com.
With me, Imani. Spider Boy.